Hi guys, welcome to another video from True North Trading. This is an update on the GBPUSD potential short that we had lined up towards the end of last week. As you can see, we failed to reach the highlighted region, which was between the 61.8 and the 78.6 level, and we've just continued to tank all the way down. So I want to explain why prices reacted this way. And we did actually manage to catch some pips off this short. We are actually in a trade at the minute. And I want to explain to you how we managed to get that entry, even though my original prediction was for price to stall around here and make its way up into this area before, tanking all the way down. Like I say, we failed to push higher, and we've just continued to drop. But we never overreact. We never worry. We see how the market and how price plays out, and then we adjust our strategy accordingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this Fibonacci off first of all, because it's no longer significant to us. And then I'm going to zoom in to the 1 hour. So actually I'll stay on the 4 hour for a second and just talk a little bit about the last video that we put out and what happened with price. So we had this counter trend line. If you guys have watched the previous video, where we had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and we continued up and made this third touch of this outer trend line, which is a significant touch. Any of you guys that understand trend lines fairly well will know that the third touch is always quite significant. And then what we saw from there is we saw price really drop down, and what had happened is it's failed to make a higher low. It actually created a lower low. So this uptrend was actually, it became invalid. But what I could see at the time of recording the previous video is price was really stalling around the level that I've drawn this blue line. And as you can see, we have found some resistance at this area before. So we were looking for potential for this to become support, for another touch off this trend line, and a move back up into this 61.8 region that we had drawn on our previous Fibonacci, and then a tank all the way back down, at least to the 1.20 level. But that didn't happen. And as I say, we watch price. We never overreact, and we adjust our strategy accordingly. So what had happened is, if I go down to the 1 hour, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Just get that right. Yeah. So as you can see, price, as I mentioned, was stalling around this area. We were sort of finding a level of support. We have a lot of dojis, a lot of indecision, a lot of spinning tops. No real price action confirmation to really tell us that, we want to head down. But what I did actually find is, if I just get my Fibonacci tool, is that from this high here, we draw Fibonacci down to the low, this tap off the trend line where we created a new low. We can see that when price retraced back up, it landed beautifully in the 78.6 to the 61.8. But here we've got no real price action confirmation to tell us right now, we want to go short. So what we had to look for the continuation of the downtrend, which did end up happening. So we've got the high here, we've got a low here, we've got lower highs, we've got, you couldn't really call that a lower low. It's kind of on the same level. And this is why I assumed price was going to hold. But then we failed to come back up and make a higher high. We actually made a lower high, and then we made lower lows, and then we made a lower high. Now, as you can see here from price action here and here, we've continued the downtrend, and what's happened is we've had two significant rejections off the 50% level, which tells me, price does want to come down. But what I wanted to really see was how it reacted at this counter trend line, whether this counter trend line could hold and we could shoot back up, or really what was price wanting to do around this area. So we've got it in our minds that we've had our 61 to 78.6% retracement, our touch off that golden zone. We know we're definitely in a downtrend because we're making lower highs and lower lows. Now we really want to look, is price going to continue to tank through this counter trend line, or is it going to ping back up? So if I just delete this Fibonacci off to make it a little bit clearer, and I'll delete that level off as well, because that's no longer significant to us. Sorry, if I just go back, actually, you can see that the level is around 1.220. So it is not a key level, but it's a significant round number for us to work from. But unfortunately, it didn't hold, so I'll just get rid of it. So we know we're in a downtrend, and now we want to see how price reacts around this counter trend line. Is there room for entry? You know, how's everything looking? Well, before we look at that, if I just drop down to the 30-minute, you can see here on that first touch off the what was the 50% level. If you remember, we had that one touch, two touch off the 50%. We've got that beautiful evening star formation there, and again we've got a bearish engulfing. So on the second touch, so this is really telling me, you know, price does want to make its way down. Go back onto the hour. So what I was looking for, I was looking for a significant close below this counter trend line, which you can see from this bearish candle here. That's my significant close. So a little strategy we use when we have a breakout of a trend line, we get our box tool and we wait for the low and the move back up, and then we draw a box from the high of the breakout to the low that it's created, and we see how price reacts in here. Are we going to consolidate? Is this a fake out of the trend line? Are we going to move back up, or are we going to move back down? And what we're looking for price action confirmation here. And that's exactly what we've got here. We've got that beautiful shooting star with a massive bearish engulfing candle. And we had that close right below the sort of area that we're working within. So this tells me, you know, the bulls are most definitely in the market. The bears are most definitely in the market, and now's time for us to get in. There was very little chance that from this significant bearish candle here that price was gonna, you know, move back up. We've had the breakout of the trend line. We've had, you know, the bears coming into the market to tell us, yeah, you know, price is going to keep moving further down. So this is where we managed to get our entry from. Not the perfect entry, but seen as though, you know, there's a lot of fundamental reasoning and a lot of fundamental news sort of coming out surrounding Brexit. There's a lot of uncertainty. We didn't want to jump at any opportunity. You know, in case we were wrong. We really, you know, it's better to wait and miss out on a couple of pips and, you know, have your trade hit take profit than just sort of rush and, you know, get it all wrong. We really want to see how price reacts. So if I just get my short position tool, you know, we got this entry nice. I think it's at 9 o'clock this morning, actually, this candle. Is that when I entered? Yeah, it was 9 o'clock this morning. Beautiful close. We had a 25 pip stop, as we normally do with this strategy. So, you know, around about there. And we're still in this trade. Right now, we're up about 70 pips. But, you know, our target is, as I mentioned earlier, I still do believe that price is going to reach this 1.20 level and most likely smash straight through it. So, you know, there's 130 pips to be had here. Beautiful risk reward, 5 to 1. Or 1 to 5 rather, risk reward there. So yeah, this is our breakdown of how we managed to not overreact, not lose our head and not worry when price didn't do what we originally expected it to do. We went back onto the charts, we reanalyzed, and we looked to see how price is reacting. And this was quite an easy trade, to be honest, because we know that, you know, at the minute the GBP is just extremely weak due to Brexit and other fundamental reasons. So hope you've enjoyed this analysis. Hope some of you guys managed to catch this trade. Some of you guys might have even gotten right from the top, which would be absolutely amazing. Let's just have a look at how many pips. Let's just say you were to enter off. We need a bit of a better price action confirmation from this. So, you know, let's just say you entered after this massive candle. You got the retracement. I'll put a Fibonacci on here. So you got the 61.8 retracement, bang. Let's say you went a bang right off that daily resistance level. You'd be looking at something like, can get my tool. You'd be flying. You would have made over 200 pips off this, which is, you know, great. We were looking at the markets a little bit differently, but it's not to worry. You know, everyone sees the market differently to each other. It's all a learning curve. So I hope you guys have found this useful, and I hope you've recognized how not to panic if price doesn't do what you wanted it to do. Always reanalyze and just trust your instinct.